Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Tonight, we travel back to the shadowy alleys of Victorian London, a place where gas lamps flickered in the fog, poverty strangled the streets, and fear gripped the hearts of thousands. This is the story of a murderer so infamous, so mysterious, so terrifying, that more than 130 years later, the world still whispers his name. Jack the Ripper. A killer who taunted the police, a killer who butchered his victims with surgical precision, a killer who vanished before anyone could catch him. But who was he? Why did he kill? And why, after more than a century of investigation, do we still not know his identity? Tonight, we dive into the complete story, the victims, the suspects, the letters, and the chilling theories that continue to haunt true crime history. This is Jack the Ripper, the killer who was never caught. The world of Whitechapel. To understand Jack the Ripper, we first need to understand his hunting ground. It is the year 1888. London is the heart of the British Empire, the richest empire on earth. But beneath the wealth and prestige lies a dark underbelly, the East End slums. Whitechapel was overflowing with poverty, homelessness, disease, crime, prostitution, overcrowded lodging houses, immigrants fleeing famine or political persecution. Over 80,000 people packed into a maze of narrow alleys, dead ends, and dark courtyards. Police patrols were few. Light was limited. Desperation was everywhere. Women living on the streets often turned to prostitution for survival, just a few pennies for a night's shelter. Drunkenness was rampant, murders weren't rare, but none would compare to the nightmare about to unfold. The stage was set. The Ripper was coming. The first murder, Mary Ann Nichols. It begins on August 31, 1888. A woman named Mary Ann Nichols, known as Polly, had been drinking heavily. She needed 4 pence to afford a bed for the night. At 3:40 a.m., her lifeless body was discovered on Bucks Row. Her throat had been slashed twice. Her abdomen was mutilated. Her intestines exposed. This was no ordinary street killing. This was something far more brutal. Police initially dismissed the idea of a serial killer, a term not yet commonly used, but that would soon change. Annie Chapman. Just 1 week later, on September 8, 1888, another woman was found dead. Annie Chapman, age 47. Her throat was cut deeply. Her abdomen was opened. Her organs were deliberately removed. Evidence showed she was killed quickly, silently, with precision. Witnesses spoke of a mysterious man seen with her, stocky, foreign-looking, wearing a dark coat and a low-brimmed hat. Panic began to spread through Whitechapel. Women feared the night. Police started to realize the truth. They had a serial killer on their hands. The letters begin. Just when fear reached its peak, the killer began to write. The police received a letter signed Jack the Ripper. This name would ignite the legend. The first letter, known as the Dear Boss letter, mocked the police and described the murders in chilling detail. Then came the Saucy Jackie postcard, bragging about future killings. And finally, the most terrifying of all, the From Hell letter, sent with half a human kidney, supposedly belonging to victim number 4. Whether all these letters were real or hoaxes remains debated, but they fueled the media frenzy. The double event. On September 30th, 1888, the Ripper struck twice in one night. 1. Elizabeth Stride, found on Berner Street. Throat cut, but no mutilation. Interruptions likely scared the killer away. 2. Catherine Edwards, discovered less than an hour later in Mitre Square. Horrifically mutilated, kidneys removed, face slashed. Police had missed the killer by minutes. They found a piece of her apron discarded nearby, a clue. But as always, the killer slipped away into the fog. The final canonical victim, Mary Jane Kelly. On November 9, 1888, the Ripper committed his most savage murder. Mary Jane Kelly, age 25. Unlike the previous victims killed outdoors, Mary was murdered inside her room at Miller's Court. This gave the killer privacy, and he used it. Her body was mutilated beyond recognition. The crime scene was so horrific that even seasoned detectives were traumatized. Many believe this was the Ripper's final kill. Some think he changed locations. Others believe he died or was imprisoned for another crime. But history is silent. The murders ended as suddenly as they began. Suspects. Over the decades, more than 300 suspects have been proposed. Here are the most famous. 1. Montague John Druitt, a barrister and teacher, committed suicide shortly after the murders. Some clues point toward him, but there's no solid evidence. 2. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish-Jewish immigrant living in Whitechapel, known to have mental health struggles. In 2014, controversial DNA evidence claimed he was the killer, but the tests remain disputed. 3. Thomas Cutbush, violent, mentally unstable, lived in the area. 4. Francis Tumblety, an American doctor and fraudster, fled England after the murders. 5. The Royal Conspiracy Theory. One of the most sensational theories claims the murders were part of a royal cover-up involving Prince Albert Victor, the grandson of Princess Victoria. Historians consider this theory unlikely, but it remains popular in books and movies. 6. The artist, Walter Sickert. Some modern authors accuse him based on letters and paintings. Most experts dismiss this claim. Jack the Ripper's identity remains unknown. And perhaps that is what keeps the mystery alive. Why Jack the Ripper was never caught. In 1888, London lacked modern forensics, fingerprinting, DNA analysis, CCTV, organized investigation techniques. Communication between police divisions was poor. Crime scenes were contaminated by crowds. Clues were lost or destroyed. The Ripper operated in darkness, in maze-like streets, among hundreds of homeless people who came and went daily. He chose the perfect environment and the perfect time. Conclusion. The legend of Jack the Ripper is not just about the killings. It is about the mystery. A faceless shadow, a ghost in the fog, a man who committed some of the most brutal crimes in history and disappeared forever. His story continues to fascinate, to terrify, to remind us how fragile safety can be and how darkness can hide in plain sight. Thank you for watching this documentary. If you want more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.